So I have idea of manual testing, but no knowledge in automation.
Okay, fine. Krishna?
Oh, well, I just need to confirm one thing, whether it's regarding the Linux administration or it's regarding the testing training.
Testing training,
Because I,
Selenium training.
no, what, well, I had informed that, it's going to be the Linux administration, so I thought, I believe I had joined the wrong session, so my apologies.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, about this session. Okay, so what is meant by automation testing? Okay, so as you know, it's a generic. Okay, there is not specific training. Okay, so what is meant by automation testing? Okay, so the automation testing is nothing but called doing the testing process, so or testing activity with the help of a tool, with the help of a tool, that is called automation testing. That means same manual testing whatever you're doing, that means we are opening the application and we are filling some documents and we are validating some messages. Same thing we are doing with the help of a tool, that is nothing but called automation testing. Nowadays everybody is interested in the automation testing. I mean the clients are interested in the automation testing due to there are a lot of advantages or lot of benefits with the automation testing. So with your knowledge or with your information, so what are the benefits of an automation testing? Think as a client point of view.
I mean, with the automation, as of my knowledge, we can write a script. In the script, we can put all the whatever the manual steps we do, and we can run many test cases in one go without any manual intervention.
Okay, so we can consider as, can I say the term as unwanted execution?
Yes, yeah. Just it will take only to write the. It will take
Yes.
some time to write a script.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Once the development is done, okay, so for the execution, no need to sit in front of the system. So just do a batch execution, and you can go for a break or you can leave for the day, right?
Yeah, and it avoids the manual errors, because if you do manually, after like a 50 or 100 test cases, something will go wrong definitely.
Yes.
Whereas in automated testing, we can avoid errors. And also time.
Okay, so speed of execution. Okay.
And number of resources.
Can I use like less human dependency?
Yeah, that obviously leads to the amount spent on the project or what.
Yeah. So that's why I mentioned less human dependency.
Yeah.
And
this is what I know.
okay, yeah, fine, no problem. So the another one is you can handle with parallel execution.
Okay.
So that depends on the tool. If the tool supports the parallel execution, at a time you can open 3 or 4 browsers or 3 or 4 applications simultaneously, and it will be validate the different functionalities at a time.
Okay.
So even if you consider the Selenium, so just I want to execute 3 functionalities. Okay. So you can verify in the sequential mode, or you can verify in the parallel mode. At a time it will open 3 browsers. First browser validate the first functionality, second browser validate the second functionality, and third browser validate the third functionalities.
So they'll run in parallel.
Run in parallel. So that I will show you during the parallel execution time. I mean, so there is a concept. Okay. And the another one is reliable. So that means as our day starts with very high energy, at the day end automatically our energies will be less, our productivity will be degrades, right? But if you use that automation tool, okay, if you use it for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 year also, it will be works with the same speed. So that is called mentioned as a reliability. So these are the some benefits with the automation testing. So that's why the clients are very much interested in the automation testing. Okay, so as well as there are some drawbacks, there are some disadvantages with the automation testing. So what would be?
Like I said, initially the scripting will take more time.
See, in the point of view client,
From
as
client.
a client.
Some tools are a bit expensive, like UTP.
Okay, so I'm using return of investment, ROI.
Initially, it could be expensive.
You can consider as a license charges,
Yeah.
or infrastructure, or because some tools require only Windows 10 operating system or i5 processors. Then again, the system configuration software should be
System configuration. Yes, yeah.
So that's why I mentioned as license charges as well as the infrastructure. So that need to calculate. There is a loss for that also sometimes. Okay.
The other thing is that if scenarios are changing, if it's a small project or if there's a different scenarios, I think automation will not help.
Client will not bother, right?
Yeah.
See, as a client.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So client will not bother. It's a automation. See, automatable or not. If it is dynamically changing or not changing, he will not bother. But that's it. That's the company call. Why? Because he's paying.
So client will not ask whether to do with the automation or manual, because if it's a manual, then it could be expensive, and if it's automation, then there will be, like what we discussed, like a less number of resources.
There is a lot of fewer automation projects are there. Okay, so there the complete manual testing is completed. Okay, so just for validating the patches, he needs the regression automation. Okay, so at the time, so the requirements will not change. Okay, so we are deviating from the topic. Okay, so the another one is resources are less. You can consider the skilled resources in the market.
Okay.
Suppose if there is a manual testing opening is there, so let us check some 400 people will reach out. Maybe for automation testing, 200 people will reach out for that.
There are not many. Okay.
Okay, so that means resources are there less, but you can consider the top level who is expertise in the framework level. So you can develop the program. The rest of the people, if they want to go for high-end expertises, okay, that much of number of resources are as of now less in the market. Okay, so the another one is tool limitations. If you go for Selenium, so it supports the only web application only. It supports
only web applications.
It supports the web application only.
Okay. And I heard there is not much support like UTP. They have only some groups. For Selenium, there is no proper help, proper support.
Yes. So that is not the tool limitation. So that we'll discuss difference between in the QTP and Selenium. So there is there extend to this topic. Okay, so if you go for like environment level, it supports Windows operating system, Linux, Mac like this, but it should be a web application only. It should be a
web application.
If you go for QTP, okay, it supports Windows application, web application, SAP application, Oracle application, like lot of application. It's around it supports 12 types of applications.
Okay.
12 types of applications, but it should be Windows operating system only. Application should be placed in
Windows operating system.
Otherwise, it's not possible. If you want to validate something in the Linux environment, it is not possible with the QTP. Okay. If I want to validate an application which is a consider Windows application which is located in the Windows as well as Windows or some Oracle application which is placed in Windows as well as the Linux. It is not possible. So one thing has to compromise as of now with the current situation. Okay, so like
Okay.
this there is a tool limitations is there. Okay, so if you go for automation testing tools, so famous tools might be heard about as a QTP, UFT, and that another one is Selenium. Okay, so these are the two famous. Lot of tools are there. You can maybe heard about as a code or UI applications like this. But as of
Yeah, there are
now,
many. Yeah.
many tools are there. Some around 95% of the market is acquired by the QTP or Selenium only. Okay, even
Okay.
though so the QTP, as you told, it's a commercial support is there, but Selenium has the more market. Selenium has more market. Why? Because
Yeah.
when compared with the QTP, Selenium has more benefits. I mean, with respect to the client. Okay, so Selenium has more benefits with respect to the client. But if you compare with the Selenium, the QTP has more user-friendly options for developing. Okay, that means the development in is easy in the QTP. Development is easy in the QTP. I mean, as you are already Java developer, you will not face any complex in the development. Why? Because we are going to use basic Java and core Java only. Okay, so that is enough for the
Okay.
Selenium. Okay, so now there is no advanced Java is required for the automation testing. Okay, suppose just consider who came from pure manual background. They don't know the basic programming itself. For them, I'm saying. Okay, for them. Okay, so QTP has more user-friendly options so that the development will be fast. Okay, but Selenium when compared with it will be less. That means it will take some more time. Why? Because that user-friendly options are not listed in the Selenium. Okay, but if you think as a client point of view, the Selenium has a number of features, okay, a number of benefits. Okay, so do you have any idea? Just think as a client. Okay, so why the Selenium is famous, or what are the benefits with the Selenium when compared with the QTP?
The first point I think is Selenium is an open source tool,
Hmm?
um, and it can link to other IDEs as well.
Okay.
Um, and like what we discussed, it can it's though it's only for web applications, it can be done in Windows and Linux as well.
Okay. That's why integrate with other tools I mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, so with the help of those tools, you can handle that. But it not supporting complete Windows application. If there any Windows activity came in during the web application, suppose if I want to upload a photo or upload a file, then there is a window dialog box came. So for that scenario, so we'll use the other tools. Okay, not for the
Okay.
complete Windows application. There is some Windows activity is there during the web application. For those few scenarios, we will use that. Suppose if there is a pure Windows application, the Selenium is not suggestible. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is you covered open source, and the another one is integrating with the other tools. That means you told that so we'll combine with the other tools and we can automate some other scenarios. So that is one. Okay.
Uh, and like you said, like we can run execution in parallel.
Okay. Parallel execution you can achieve.
Yeah. Uh, and I heard it supports many programming languages, Selenium.
Yes.
It supports Java and it supports Python.
.NET, C#.NET. clear. Open source, integrating with other tools, parallel execution, supporting many programming languages. Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
are
a
there?
problem. So some people will like you, they will do some R&D in the portals itself. So for this easy, so I listed the differences between. So here it is, Selenium versus QTP. So as you covered, it's an open source tool and it is a commercially developed by the HP. And the
Yeah.
another one is HP. So HP team, QTP support developed by.
Yeah.
And it supports multiple operating system like Windows, Linux, Mac. But the QTP supports the only Windows operating system only, like Windows
Okay.
7, XP, Vista. So it should be in a Windows only. And that another one is multiple browsers. It supports IE, Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, like almost all the latest browsers. Okay, famous browsers.
Okay.
And if suddenly new browser is invented, it may or may not support. So, but what are the existing browsers are there? So it will support it. Okay, and that QTP. So basically, it supports IE, Google Chrome, and Firefox. So it's going to support
Okay.
the three browsers. But if you go for with specific to the version level, it's supporting the IE latest versions. Okay, and Google Chrome, Firefox with lower versions only. Google Chrome and
Okay.
Firefox with lower versions. Suppose now
Versions.
Google Chrome version is 60 or 55. The latest version of QTP supporting Google Chrome 40. Who will practically use it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so just you can consider as mainly it is considering that IE only. Okay, so but it's supporting that other browsers also, but is with the lower versions. And as you covered, like parallel execution, by default it doesn't support the parallel execution. By default, that doesn't support the parallel execution. Have you heard about ALM or Quality Center?
Yes. Yeah. I worked. Yes, on that. Yeah.
Okay, with the help
Quality
of that
center.
quality center, okay, so you can the QTP can achieve the parallel execution.
Okay.
Okay, if you that is, configuration is installed in the system, then only the QTP supports the that what we can say this parallel execution. Without that ALM or without that QC, it is not possible for the QTP. Okay, if you want to utilize the quality center, it's a commercial product, right? So again,
Yeah.
budget will be increased.
Yeah, because both are some from from same HP. Yeah.
HP and both are the commercial tools. So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
means if you want to achieve the parallel execution with the help of the QTP, again the budget will be increased. Why? Because the quality
Okay.
center has to be configured, and it supports the different programming languages, and it supports the only VB script. It supports the
Okay.
only VB script, and it
With this
has
script.
some QTP specific programming. So that means there is only every person has to be aware of this VB script as well as QTP programming. So, and let's say a lot of open source frameworks are available. Might be heard about JUnit, right?
Yes. Yeah.
JUnit. Okay. So the Selenium supports different type of open source frameworks are available. So TestNG, JUnit. TestNG is an advanced version of JUnit. Okay. So some drawbacks are observed in the JUnit. Those drawbacks we can overcome with the help of the TestNG. Okay. That what are the drawbacks that will be discussed in the further session. Okay. And if you want to go for a QTP, as of now, there is no open source framework is available in the market. So one thing has to be customized. That means the team has to be developed, or the concerned person has to develop the framework for the project. The another one is robust framework. So just give money, some company will develop the framework according to your requirement, and they will give it to you. So that
Okay.
means again, just consider as firmware has to be developed by us, or just need to invest some money for that. Okay. Yeah. The another one is integration with the other tools. As I told, some there is a Windows activity came, Windows dialog box came. So for that, we cannot bypass the test case automation. Okay, so we can integrate with the other tools, and we can automate that scenarios also. But if within a pure Windows application or pure other application, so not to suggest the Selenium. Okay, within an intermediate activity scheme, then we can go for this. And it's a monopoly action. It will not allow any other tools. It will not allow any other tools.
Other tools.
Okay, that's why I mentioned as a monopoly. Okay, monopoly means only same thing only. It will another one is not accepted. Okay, so it supports the web applications. So here it is a 12 types of applications, as I told, Windows application, web, Oracle, SQL, like this, lot of applications types, but it should be the Windows operating system only. But as a client point of view, if there in a web application, lot of web application market is primarily it's 80%, 80 to 90%. So minimum is 80%. Okay, 80 to 90%, or maybe now it is reaching due to cloud computing and all those things. Maybe it will be 90-95% also. So
Yes,
the
yeah.
client is that 90% of the clients. I mean, for that who the clients, they are thinking about that only. Okay, the rest of the 10% they are skipping it. So they will go with the Oracle tools, or they will go with the QTP, or they will go with some RESTful tools. They are not just, we are not thinking about that 10%. We are considering that 90% of the applications. Okay, so just as a consider the client point of view, okay, there is no investment is required for the framework development. It's supporting multiple browsers, multiple operating system, parallel execution, and it support the different programming languages. And there is no license charges, and it is accepting some other tools integration. Okay, so as a client point of view, so there are a lot of benefits with the Selenium when compared with the QTP. So that's why the every client is interested in Selenium. Clear?
Yes, yeah, clear.
Yeah. So Selenium is a, I mean, even when compared with the Selenium, QTP has some more benefits, but then benefits is useful for the, you can consider it a testing team. It will not that much useful for the customer. Okay, suppose if there is an application with just consider one of the application with my prior experience, the front end is web application and the back end is mainframe. Okay, so there are some test cases. I want to validate front end and back end. So if I want to automate that scenario, Selenium is not useful, right? So those type of those type of applications are there. So then they will think of this QTP to support the other application. Apart from that, development is fast when compared with the Selenium in QTP. Why? Because there are a
Okay.
lot of user-friendly options are there. Development will be fast. Okay, in Selenium, so who are used to be, so they will develop a reusable functionalities. They will simply called, so generic framework functionalities, they will call it is wherever it is required. Okay, so now the WebDriver has developed in so much user-friendly way. So priorly I'm saying now it's almost not, I can say, equal. QTP is more, but if you think as a client point of view, Selenium has a number of benefits.
Okay.
And Selenium, okay, it's a not a single tool. We'll call it as a suite of tools or group of tools. Okay, so generally we'll use for representing those tools. Okay, we'll call it as a Selenium components. We'll call it as a Selenium components. That means, so if I say Selenium, it's a, we'll call it as a Selenium components. Okay, there are 4 Selenium components are available in the market. The first one is IDE, and the second one is RC. RC means remote control, and the third one is WebDriver. Fourth one is Grid. Okay, so initially Selenium IDE is invented. Okay, so I will give that information what is Selenium IDE and all those things. Selenium IDE is invented. There are some drawbacks are observed. To overcome the drawbacks, Selenium RC is invented. Okay, again, there are still some more drawbacks are observed. Okay, so to overcome the drawbacks of the Selenium IDE as well as the RC, so WebDriver developed. Okay, and currently in the market for the script development, we are using the WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver, and the fourth one is for parallel execution. So fourth is Grid, and we can achieve the parallel execution. This is not the drawback of the WebDriver. So whatever the programs were developed in the WebDriver or RC, so to achieve the parallel execution, so we are utilizing the Selenium component Grid.
Okay.
So if you say that Selenium IDE, so basically it's a record and playback tool. Okay, so just record the button, click on the record, do your manual testing activity like open the browser and fill some values, click on the buttons, validating some messages and all those things. So that say due to this record feature, the Selenium IDE will automatically develop the program. And if you want to validate the same functionality in future, so click on the play button, it will automatically validate. So if there are any mismatches in application, it will be represented with the red color. If there in application there is no mismatches, it will represent with the green color for that functionality.
Okay, got you. I think I did see this in the QTP.
Yeah, same
Record and play option. Yeah.
And it's a Firefox plugin or add-on. It's a add-on for the Firefox. Okay, so due to these, based on these two statements, so due to there is a recording feature is available, no need to learn any programming languages. So just to do the record and it will automatically generate. And since it is a add-on, easy configuration, within some 20 or 30 seconds you can go for the install or configuration. And since it is a recording button is available, the script development is fast. So why? Because no need to bother about it, right? So just to do your manual, how much fast you are doing in the manual testing, that much of speed it will automatically develop the program. And the drawback is it's add-on for the Firefox. It supports the only Firefox browser automation.
Okay.
If you want to validate the same thing in the Chrome or some other application, it is not possible. Okay, and one more is it doesn't support the validation statements. Okay, like if you want to include if else related statements or switch or select cases, it is not possible. It's a pure prototype model. If there is a list of options available, use it, otherwise you have to, there is no other choice. Okay, it's a prototype, you cannot include the customized commands based on requirement. And it doesn't support looping statements. If you want to validate the functionality with multiple sets of data, generally we will use while loops for loops. Okay, do while loops. Okay, but here it is a functionality. Again, if you want to validate the second data, update the data, and that means only one set of execution will be taken care. If you want to validate the same thing with the other set of data, it is not possible. So what are the drawbacks in the observed in the Selenium IDE? Okay, so to overcome the drawbacks, so the Selenium team developed that RC, one more Selenium component that is called RC. So here we can overcome the drawbacks of the Selenium IDE with the help of any programming languages which support by the Selenium. There are some sets of programming languages, so Java, C Sharp, Ruby, Perl. Okay, so we can take any help of one programming language and we can go for this achievement. So it supports the multiple operating system, multiple browsers, it's supporting the validation statements, looping statements, and it supports the customized commands based on the requirement. So simply, so what are the drawbacks of the Selenium IDE? So we can able to overcome with the help of the Selenium RC. And the drawbacks of the Selenium RC is the configuration is little bit difficult. Just consider when compared with the Selenium IDE. So just consider as a Java, we need to download the Eclipse, need to configure the Java, need to install the Java, and in the environment session, we need to add that specific environment session in the system properties, need to download the jar files, need to place at specific location, and the creation of project, packages, class files, and need to add the specific jar files. Okay, so when a pure manual team is if I say all those things in a single shot, okay, so it will be considered as a difficult, but it will not be a difficult thing. So I said difficult when compared with the Selenium IDE, when compared with the Selenium IDE. Okay, and here it is recording feature is not available in the Selenium RC. Okay, so just you have to manually develop by yourself. But so what are the drawbacks or the disadvantages with the Selenium IDE? So you can be able to overcome. And there are some more drawbacks are there. when compared with the Selenium RC. Okay, so that drawbacks you can able to overcome with Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so those are will be the technical limitations. Okay, so what are the technical limitations that we can discuss in the further? So in generic, so the speed of execution is more in the Selenium WebDriver. Suppose if you developed a program in Selenium RC, and if you developed the same thing in the Selenium WebDriver, if you, I mean, so programming is somewhat difficult. I mean, the list of commands, I mean, for a specific functionality, if you execute both at a time, the WebDriver will validate the functionality with earlier time, less time. You can consider as. So that is one the drawback in the Selenium IID, I mean Selenium RC. So apart from this, there are some more will be there. Okay, that I will discuss. So those are also clearly documented. Selenium WebDriver versus RC. So those things we'll discuss in the further. I mean.
Okay, got you.
Fourth one is, so what are the programs we develop either with the help of the RC or WebDriver? Okay, so that we can go for a parallel execution. We can achieve the parallel execution with the help of the grid. If you use only RC or only WebDriver, that is a sequential execution only. It is a sequential execution only. But if you go for a grid, you can go for a, I mean, you can achieve the parallel execution. It will works hub and node concept. Okay, so what is hub and node? There is a server is there which controls the rest of the client system, same as quality center. Okay, so it will be works with the same concept. When I explaining the grid, so I will tell you how to configure hub, how to configure the node, how to configure the set of commands for parallel execution. If I want to validate the functionality in 2 Chrome, i3, i4, Firefox, how what is the configuration? There are a list of commands will be there to make our required configuration. So with the help of that, you can achieve that the specific parallel execution.
Okay.
Clear with the Selenium components?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So these are the topics I'm going to discuss as a part of the course. The first one is the Selenium IDE. The first one is Selenium IDE. So how to install the Selenium IDE, how to develop a programs with the help of the recording, without help of the recording. Okay, and
Okay.
how to validate the functionalities and what are the features are available in the IDE. So the complete whole package of the Selenium IDE which are required for automation. So that will be covered in the Selenium IDE session. Okay. After that, object identification. Okay. So as the developers will, I mean, the tool has to identify the object based on the properties and values. Okay. As you know, in the development process, every object has a different unique values like IDs, names, and all those things. So we know how to fetch that information from the application. And we need to fetch the unique information, and we need to pass that information pass to the client, to the automation tool. Then only the tool will interact with the application. So how to fetch that unique information? Even sometimes there are property values are dynamically changing. How to then how to automate that situation? Everything, the complete information will be explained in the object identification session. Okay, so once it is done, okay, basic and core Java concepts will be covered until the whoops concept.
Okay.
And I told you that there is a technical limitations with the Selenium RC and WebDriver. So what are the RC versus WebDriver? So that I will clearly explain. And finally, nowadays, there is no application with RC. So all the applications are developing with the WebDriver. So completely without RC. So we are going to develop the different type of programs or different type of scenarios with the WebDriver programming only. Okay. So once it is done, okay, so how to install the TestNG? I mean, I will give you the differences between the TestNG versus JUnit. Okay. So nowadays Selenium, so TestNG is we are using. I mean, in the market, we in the sense. Okay. So what are the limitations with the TestNG with the JUnit? So those things I will explain. And finally, I will here it is a TestNG versus JUnit open source framework, and how to install the TestNG, and what are the different type of features are available in the TestNG and everything. Even with the help of the TestNG, we can achieve the parallel execution without Selenium grid.
Okay.
Suppose if there is no installation of TestNG with the help of grid you can achieve, but if you use the TestNG without grid, you can achieve the parallel execution. Okay, so how to configure it and how to generate a different, user-friendly reports, everything, complete information will be explained in this TestNG open source framework. And cross-browser testing, how to validate the same functionality in another browsers. Suppose if I develop a program in the Firefox, I want to validate the same functionality in the Chrome or IE. So what are the changes or how to validate those things in the programming level, that we'll discuss in the cross-browser testing. And here it is a parallel execution and Windows application handling. As I told, it's integrating with the other tools, right? If there in a Windows application scenarios came, how to automate that scenarios. That means how to integrate with the other tools. That will be discussed in the Windows application handling. Okay, and grid, how to configure the grid, how to achieve the parallel execution. The complete information will be taken care in this section. And what are the different type of frameworks are available. That means, first of all, what is framework, what is the benefits of it, what is the drawbacks of it, and what are the different type of frameworks are available. Okay, so data driven frameworks, modular frameworks. Okay, so I will give that information on the keyword and hybrid. So here it is you will get a complete code on the data driven and modular. That means data driven, how to read and write operation from the Excel. If I want to fetch some information and do the execution, and if I want to capture the same results into the Excel, how to, and if I want to make a reusability, how to achieve it. So those things I will cover in the data driven framework as well as the modular framework.
So it will read from the Excel or in the data driven framework. So will it read from the Excel? Okay.
Excel. Okay, and I prepared a PDF document how to read the data, how to do read and write operation from the database. If there in application is, if there in a project came with a database read and write operation, okay, you can use that as a reference document. Okay, since
so we'll have
the database, yeah, I prepared the document with respect to screenshots. Okay, I will
so
share
we
the
have
document.
So we have some plugins over there. Is things like that? Or?
The DB has to be installed and the specific DB has to be created and all those things, right? It will degrading that performance since it is a personal laptops. Okay, it's degrading the performance. So that's why. So I prepared that screenshots for each and every complete flow. Okay, so that I will show you anyway. That is screenshot flow also. It's not here. So if you want to utilize, you can use it as a reference. Nothing but called program is there. Okay, so you can copy and paste the programming, just change the DB values simply. And what is the DB table structure? So I will show you one second after this. Okay, so and I will give you the list of interview question and answers and resume with 1 to 5 years experience with respect to the automation. Okay, this is not complete experience with respect to. So if you want to try as a fresher, what will be the roles and responsibilities? If it is in 2 years experience, okay, and the interview preparation. Okay, so once it is done, okay, if you want to validate yourself, I will conduct a mock interview. And apart from that, what are the concepts I am covering? Okay, so I will give you a task on that. Okay, I will give you a test case flow. Okay, so all the tasks are in a single application only. That means if you complete the task, automatically your project experience will come into the picture. No need to go for a separate project training. Okay, if you do the task, why? Because all the task I am giving on a single application. If you do the task, automatically your project training will be automatically finished. Okay, so so what are the features I am saying? Okay, might be based on our requirement. I will take the different URLs, but your task on the single application only.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Yeah, and how many days is this course for?
It's 20 to 25 hours.
Okay.
Generally, Monday to Friday is fixed, and minimum is 1 hour. Okay. If you want to close it early, so that depends on schedule. We can finish it, but the total course is 20 to 25 hours.
I'm looking for to close it quickly because currently I'm not working. So currently I have time. So that's what I'm looking to finish this course as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll discuss on that. Okay. Yeah. So here it is. If you see the database document, as I told you, right? Okay. So this is the program, and these are the information. So how to connect to the database. So screenshot once it is installed, and what are the parameters you need to install. Okay. And how to create a DB. For just I'm creating a table. Okay. Sample table.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
So where the jar files is located for this scenario. Okay. And the URL and the program, everything is complete. So myself is I'm not giving that complete notes like this. So I already prepared the like this different type of Excels and all those things. I just I'm share that. Okay. So those documents will be shared to you. Maybe some little bit there is a running notes will be there. Okay. I'm not saying, but major portion is I created.
Okay, got you.
So here it is. If you see the sample regimes with 1 year experience, 3 years experience, okay, fresher experience. So you can use the same template, or if you have the template, just use the roles and responsibilities. And what are the frameworks are available? What is the benefit of each and every framework? Okay. So this complete information is documented. See, programming will be in, so during writing I will share that programs. So what is that steps to implement the automation framework, and these are will be the list of interview question and answers. So with okay, apart from this, see, there is no limitation for the interview question and answers, but most of this I listed out. Okay, so still if there is, so you can search the Google itself. And even setting a WebDriver with Eclipse. So some people new to the this one. So here it is, how to install the Java. Okay, so once it is done, how to download that, where to extract it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with this Eclipse. Yeah.
So
even this is open source tool. Yeah.
So this is the Selenium material. Okay. So this information. So even if you want to go for installation of Selenium Ide, so step by step, what is the how it will look like. If you want to install the Firebug, how it will be look like this. Okay. If you want to validate the results, what are the different type of session.
Okay.
So everything is clearly documented. If you want to identify, so even that different programs. So here it is almost, I mean, the basic, if you want to install the TestNG, so programs are not all listed, but tool wise and what are the basic features wise, everything is clearly documented here. And these documents will be shared to you once it is finalized. Okay.
Okay.
So this is about that course. If you have any doubts or information, we can discuss.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. My main thing is that because I want to switch into the automation side of testing. And basically, my previous experience is a Java developer. I worked in the billing side, and I worked in the production support. And last couple of years, I worked in the cloud. Then actually, I worked many years in Accenture as well. My last job was in Accenture. So currently, for the last 2 months, I'm not working. I'm looking for something. Actually, I looked into cloud, cloud networking, but I don't have that much of experience. So yeah, because
Yeah, no
everybody's
problem.
asking
No
for
things. No, it's not
everybody's
about
asking.
that. So just I want to know with respect to the course or if you want to respect to planning, if you
Yes,
have doubts.
yeah. So
But
I thought of moving into the automated testing.
yeah.
Then I have spoken with many here. They
Hmm.
suggested for Selenium.
Yeah, as you came as a Java developer, it is a pretty much easy for learning the Selenium. Okay,
Yeah.
so here it is. Apart from that, I included Maven. So as a part of new course content,
Okay.
Maven I included. And database testing I included. Next, Log4j framework is also included.
Okay.
So these are the new some more frameworks I'm going to cover as a part of this session.
Okay. Cool. So as you said, the course will be like around 20 to 22 hours.
Yes, 20 to 25
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, and it could be like you said, Monday to Saturday or Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday is fixed. There is a fixed timing for that Monday to Friday. Okay. So Saturday, Sunday, so we'll discuss on every Friday. So both
Okay.
based on your and my flexibility. Sometimes I have planning on the Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Sometimes I may not have like for you also. Okay. So that's why. So we'll discuss on every Friday. That means so if both are flexible on a common time, we'll have a session. Otherwise, we don't have the session. But Monday to Friday is fixed. So that one day will
Uh,
come.
so if you go for like a fast track, then it can be finished in 2 weeks time. Is that right?
Some sort of okay. It's not like a fast track. We need to go for some more bigger period.
Session.
Okay, instead of 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, 1 hour, and we can include 1.5 hour. As you know the Java, so might be the programming you pretty much easily understand.
Yeah,
Programming.
I can do that programming part. Yeah.
Yes, yes, you can easily understand. If I want to say what is class and what is object, how to create an object, so no that much of basic explanation is required for you. So
Yeah, I can do like Eclipse part and whatever you said, like Log4j.
yeah. So that's what some more
And
concepts are already covered. So just I will give that information once again. If you're already aware of, you can say, so I know this process. Just I will skip the topic. Otherwise, I will cover the topic. That's it.
yeah, and
Okay.
like database testing,
Yeah.
that kind of things. Yeah. Uh, 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 so the other question is, what about the timings?
That so now this timing is free 8 to 9 IST. I mean, what are the demo time we are discussing? Morning 7 to 8 is already class is going on.
No,
Maybe
no, not because for me,
hmm.
I have
Raghu,
some other.
1 second. Just I will call Raghu, so he will give that timing. So he is in meeting. Yeah, 1 second. I will make call to his mobile. So once he will
No,
come,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
he will come into
Yeah.
that exact timing and will.
No, no, that's fine. Yeah, we can. Right. Actually, somebody called me from your office, from your
No, no,
the mobile number
I'm
is
not
mentioned.
related. So just we have an agreement with Raghu. So I'm not working for.
Yeah, actually, the number mentioned in the email, I got a call from that number after we started the session. I think yeah.
I don't have any information on that. So who is
Okay, okay.
contacting?
Somebody called, yeah,
So
from
there
that
is a one
number.
contact person from that organization. So he's going to conduct okay organizing and all those. 1 second. Raghu, ఒకసారి జాయిన్ అవుతారా మీటింగ్ లో? మీటింగ్ లో ఒకసారి జస్ట్ టైమింగ్ గురించి Yeah. So just to speak with him. So he's in some another